Hey guys, Sol here, and as I would tell you, or any other tech reviewer would tell you, if you're making a gaming rig or just computer in general, don't cheap out on your power supply. So today we're going to have a look at the Fractal Design Edison M 650 watt. This review sample is provided by Fractal Design. Okay, so the one we're looking at today in the Edison M lineup is the 650 watt. Now there's actually four Edison M's. There's a 450, 550, 650, which we have here, and a 750. The 450, 550 I would recommend for anybody that has like a single GPU setup. 650 probably dual, and 750 you can start talking about possibly doing 3 cards. Some of the newer graphics cards out there like the GTX 970, I wanted to say 770. 970 with Maxwell are power efficient enough to where you could actually run 3 970s off of 750 watt. This is a gold rated power supply, meaning that it's a little bit more efficient than the typical 80 plus bronze that you see on the cheaper end of power supplies. Okay, so for the overall design, it is a very sleek looking power supply. It has a nice stamped snowflake in the top of the metal. It's got the minimalistic black and white Fractal design logo on one side. On the other side, if you're facing this fan up, you're probably in most cases going to see the Fractal design with like all the wattage information and whatnot on the side of the thing. That's kind of unsightly to me, and it's a little bit unfortunate that that's not a sticker that can be removed. It's painted on, but in most cases, like if you're gonna have it, you're gonna have it facing down so you can draw that cool air in, and it's just got like a nice plain Fractal design logo on the side of it, which looks nice and really matches up with any kind of color build you're going for. On the bottom, there's a 120 millimeter fluid dynamic bearing fan. They say this is for long life. Typically in this kind of price range you would see dual ball bearing fans. I'm kind of curious why Fractal went with the fluid dynamic bearing fans, but this is the same kind of bearing that they went with in their Venturi series. So it's nice. The fan hasn't like ramped up or made any super loud noises or anything. It stays pretty quiet. I put a couple of graphics cards in Crossfire with this. I borrowed a buddy's card and put it in Crossfire. Really ramped up on like a couple of tests to cause like as much load on this as possible, and the fan really didn't ramp up any more than like a whisper quiet. In normal running conditions where it's only running at 20%, you can't hear it. It's dead silent. So this power supply is semi-modular, meaning that the 24-pin ATX cable, the CPU power cable, and it also has PCIe cable that are attached to the power supply no matter what. I'm fine with this in any computer. You're going to use a 24-pin and CPU, and I think if you're spending $120 on a power supply, you're really going to probably end up using a graphics card with it, so I'm completely fine with it too. The 24-pin ATX cable, CPU cable, and the PCI are actually all very long, and Fractal did this to make sure that you have plenty of slack to plug into a machine, being with cases that are bottom-mounted power supplies. Now, the modular part of this, it has 7 connectors on the front, 2 of them being for PCI Express. It also says CPU, but I wouldn't think you would need any additional CPU power. And it has 4, and there are 2 8-pin, and then the other 4 3-pin pre and full SATA connectors. So this power supply came with a set of Velcro straps, some mounting screws, and then the rest of the modular cables. As far as the rest of the cables you get, the only ones that have the sleeving on them are the 24-pin. The rest of the modular cables come out have a black ribbon style cable, and as well as the extra modular cables. So as far as the modular cables you get 3 different types of SATAs of variable length and connectors. So you get one with it's a shorter with 2 connectors, slightly longer with 3, and then a 4 connector, a long one for like really large hard drive cage areas or whatever. And then you also have 2 sets of preamble connectors, one with 2 and another one with 3, and then you have like a little connector that hooks up to that for floppy drive if you still need it, or maybe you have a card reader that uses it or something. And then the amazing thing about this power supply is I kind of expected like an extra set of PCIe, but it actually comes with 2 sets of PCIe connectors. So you can actually have, I wouldn't technically recommend it for the 650 watt I have. I'd really only go with maybe 2 cards maximum, as long as they're power efficient. With the 750 watt, you can actually hook up to 3 graphics cards with this thing. So you got the one 6+2 PCIe connector coming out that's non-modular, and you've got 2 more of them. So you can actually hook up 3 graphics cards with up to 2 8-pin connectors. So as far as some of the internals on this, it has Japanese electrolyte capacitors that are rated at 105C. It's just nice to see that Fractal's gone with these, so you get a little bit more like insurance that, you know, you're getting them from somebody that has a little bit more of a higher manufacturing standard. The other thing that's cool is some of the protection. So they do have power protection, over voltage protection, short circuit protection, under voltage protection, over current protection, and temperature protection. This power supply also supports C6, C7 power states for, you know, Intel processors that are 4th gen or higher. And this power supply also, they include a 5-year warranty with it. So for your extra money, you're getting a little bit more peace of mind for a longer period of time. Now, as far as the power delivery on this 650 watt power supply, it is 20 amps on the 3.3 volt and the 5 volt rails at 100 watts. And the 12 volt is 54 amps at 648 watts. So you're only losing 2 watts on heat pretty much. So yeah, it's very, very efficient at 80 plus gold. And even on the 650 watt, you could probably put most graphics cards in Crossfire, unless you're getting like really extreme, going up to like 980 Ti's or Titan or something like that. On the AMD side, I would say it's probably pretty safe to do something like 285s or 380s as they are now. The 290, 390, I might be a little bit hesitant. I would want to check and see what the actual power usage is going to be out of that. Okay, so for the conclusion of this power supply, I thought it was really nice. It was easy to build with, that much for sure. I really only ran into one snag where, like I said, I couldn't put the 120 millimeter case fan in the bottom, pointing up towards the GPU the way I wanted to, because where the modular connectors are, it just got in the way. If I flipped it the other way, it would have been fine, but unfortunately, I had to scrap that and move the fan elsewhere. Other than that, it was very easy to build with. For the majority, most of the cables except for the 24-pin are flat ribbon cables, so they take up no room behind the motherboard tray or whatnot. They're easy to route. I would like to see the 24-pin also be a flat ribbon or just black colored in general. I know it's going to drive some people nuts. But the thing that was really nice about this was the fact that it's just like, it's dead quiet for a power supply. Going from this to my old power supply, I didn't really think that the old power supply was loud. It was a Corsair power supply. Having said that, and knowing that the fan's running in this one all the time, it doesn't shut down or whatnot, it's running at a low 20% speed. I was shocked that after I put this in there, not really realizing how much noise pollution that the old power supply was contributing to this thing. So yeah, I was very impressed with that, and it lives up to Fractal's name. I think what the 650 is around $120, $125. So I think for what you're getting, the price is pretty fair, and I was actually very, very impressed. This is by far the nicest power supply I've ever put in my system. And you guys should stay tuned, because I'm going to have a video coming up, I would say within the next week or two, of how to efficiently route your power supply cables. And this will be interesting because I have a micro ATX case, so I've got to do some pretty interesting things to get the cables out of the way and get everything tight. So guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give me a thumbs down and tell me why in the comments below. It was my first power supply review. I didn't know what to do with it, to be honest with you. I don't have really the equipment to test major loads or anything on it, so I tried my best. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything you'd like to see, please make them known down below, and I will see you guys later.